my friend. Today, I'm talking about how to stay inspired when frustration and discouragement set in. When you're working on your art career, it's important to stay consistent and focused. As you already know, we have a personal attachment to our art. It's hard to keep going when inspiration is low. I will share some tips on how I deal with staying motivated, and I would love to hear how you cope with this issue. Please leave a comment below and tell me what inspires you. As an artist of over 30 years, I've experienced many ups and downs. It's the nature of the profession. It's easy to get discouraged. There are good years and bad years. Life can get in the way at times. Family and friends may tell you things like, "What's your backup plan? How do you plan to make a living as an artist? Is that even possible?" I went to school for years so I would have that backup plan. It ended up being my distraction plan. This plan only delayed the inevitable fact that I am an artist, and being a full-time artist is the only way I can be a happy person. If you're like me, there is no other choice. Art isn't something I chose. Art chose me. It is my lifeblood and the only thing I ever wanted to do. The most important lesson I've learned is that you must be consistent and focused. It's important to have a plan. If you are waiting around to be discovered or find someone who will take care of the business end for you, you may be waiting for a long time. You may also get taken advantage of. When I first started out, my husband at the time was my sales rep. Neither one of us knew anything about the art business. We were just fumbling around, learning as we went along. I just had this innate feeling that I had no other choice, that art was the path for me. My husband went out and he talked to people. He sold my art and commissions for me. I really thought I could trust him, but he ended up ruining my name as an artist. When we divorced, I found out the true level of fraud he had perpetrated in my name, but it was too late by that time and I had to start all over. That is a story for another time. The best representative for your art is you. Eventually, you can hire others to help you do the work of selling and marketing. But never trust your name to someone else completely. No one can express your message like you can. An art career is a business, and the starving artist myth is just that, a myth. While there are plenty of starving artists around, there are also many artists out there making a living from their work. It is possible. The best way to overcome the myth is to have a plan. If you don't know where you're going, you will flail around for years at a time. More important than anything, though, is making good art. You won't always be inspired to make art, and this is what I'm talking about today. One of my favorite quotes is from Pablo Picasso, who said, "Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working." In other words, don't sit around waiting for inspiration to hit. Start now and make art. Whether it's good or not is not important. You have to make lots of bad art to get to the good stuff. Every good idea I've had hits me while I'm playing with my art. Now that I've lectured you for way too long, let's get into my tips for staying inspired when you are discouraged or frustrated. Tip number 1, get outside and enjoy nature. Whether in the forest, at the beach, even the city park, down the street, or your own backyard. I personally live on the edge of the Gila National Forest in southwest New Mexico. And one of my favorite things to do is hike, backpack, camp, or even four-wheel drive out to a mountain stream and soak my feet in the cool water. It is so grounding and makes me think about the things I'm grateful for in my life. Gratitude is very important in this life. You have to stay focused on what you're grateful for and not on the things that you don't want. Tip number 2. Play. Remember that you started doing art because it's fun. Keep it fun. Don't make it work. Try out a new medium. If you're a painter, get some clay. If you work with clay, try painting something. Or make a quilt. I mean, there's so many things you could do. Do something different. One of my personal favorite hobbies is to make jewelry. It's something I can do and not have to think about. It's just fun. Plus, it makes some great Christmas gifts for my friends and family. Try to remember why you became an artist in the first place. I'm guessing if you're like me, you became an artist because you love making art, not because you wanted to become a millionaire. Now, of course, that's still possible, but it's not the main reason. It's not about the money necessarily, right? Tip number 3. Sometimes you need to just get out of your head. Art making is such a solitary pursuit. Meet up with an artist friend to commiserate and realize you're not alone. If you're like me and live in a rural area, post on social media if you don't have local artist friends. I have a great community of online artist friends who encourage me and help lift me up when I'm down. If you don't have a community of artist friends, make some. This leads to tip number 4. Take an art class or join an artist group. Life drawing groups are a great way to meet other artists. If you don't have a group in your town, start one. There are artists everywhere. Tip number 5. Sometimes I get into a very introverted mindset when I get discouraged. Try surfing the internet and look for art that inspires you. YouTube has tens of thousands of painting videos to watch. I love to go down the rabbit hole, and I can spend hours watching art videos. Or make your own videos. That can be fun as well. I am really digging getting into YouTube. Editing videos is one of my favorite things. Tip number 6. One thing that has really helped me feel like I'm not alone is to read artist biographies. It can help you to see that you're not alone in history as an artist. It's great to study art history and see the trials and challenges other artists have faced. And there have been a lot of artists throughout history who have been challenged in ways we can't relate to in the modern world. I always think of Vincent van Gogh and the trials he went through in his life. I hope that these tips will help you to overcome that discouragement and frustration. One more last tip, little bonus tip, number 7 here. More important than anything, I think, as an artist is self-care. It's so very important to take breaks from the studio. I know that when you're trying to make money as an artist, you feel like you just have to work all the time, because if you don't, then you're just wasting time, and that's not good for you. It can be so easy to become a workaholic as an artist. Creating every day is great, but like everyone, days off are important. Even when you're a part-time artist, you need time for reflection and rest. The best way to do this is take yourself on an artist date. Visit a museum or a local gallery. Take your sketchbook out into nature. Or you can find a quiet coffee shop in the city and journal or sketch. There's so many things you can do. You can go to a play or a concert, anything that gets your creative juices flowing. I hope these tips have been helpful for you. It has been a helpful exercise for me to be reminded that I'm not the only artist who has ever been discouraged. One last tip that just occurred to me is to help another artist out. Become a mentor, teach someone to paint, encourage others in their pursuit. We are not competition. We are all in the same family as artists. You may not even realize how far you've come until you help someone else who is just starting out. If you liked this video, please do me a favor and hit the like button. If you want to see more videos in the future, subscribe to my channel. I post a video every week, either tips like this, painting time lapses, or tutorial painting videos. I am so grateful for you. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and have a wonderful day, week, month, and year.